Hi, my name is Dr. Faria Bukhari, Dr. Fab. In the first week of January, I did a live protest on the streets of Phoenix in front of the Phoenix City Hall, and I told everybody that 2024 seems to be the year of Armageddon for the American people. And I told them that there is a very high security alert for the American people for getting nuked by North Korea, because when you look at the overall policies of the Biden administration, you realize that North Korea has been deliberately ignored by the Biden administration, and there's this overhyped mass hysteria about Hamas, for which all these nonsensical Middle Eastern wars are being waged. They're literally blasting off hostages in their bombs, and they're saying they're doing this war for the sake of hostages. And then there's the Hannibal Directive, in which they're apparently sacrificing the hostages. So this was the first week of January, when that's the first time I said, and I said it on the streets of Arizona and Phoenix, that there's this credible, tangible threat that is coming towards US, and it's most likely going to come from North Korea. And I also mentioned that it is being perpetrated not by Russia or Iran or any forces of the Middle East, but it is being perpetrated by the same people who wrote the Balfour Declaration and who planted the entire Israel conflict in the middle of Middle East. And I mean, it's a detailed video protest. You can look it up on my archives on the YouTube channel. It's available. But having said that, so what's the latest thing that's happened? As you know, the last week, the Biden administration mentioned, and this is almost like after almost 1.5 months after I was the first one to raise this concern, the Biden administration says that, yeah, there is a national security threat. And they're saying that this national security threat is not coming from North Korea, but it's coming from Russia. And it's coming from Russia because Russia is planning to plant nukes in space. So when I was doing so much campaigning, if you can review my entire YouTube channel, I've been doing all this campaigning. I've been trying to raise awareness that please kindly stop getting obsessed over this mass media hysteria about Hamas. They're trying to distract you. They will not invoke a ceasefire because they want you so distracted, and they want Iran to be fully engaged in this battle so that when they have North Korea nuke US, they plant the blame on Iran. So this is what I told you. And then I gave you the reasons as well. The reason why they want to nuke US is because they want to transfer the wealth and the power of the American people from US to England, make London the next capital of the world, and also to Israel. And they're going to do it under the Hannibal Directive, where they are going to sacrifice 350 million Americans. So this is all available, and I have campaigned about this, and I've even tried to request various political activists to look into this matter and try to address this. And I also offered a peace option where nobody had to even fire a single bullet, and that peace option was that Pakistan, that has good relations with China, could mediate a truce between US and North Korea so that they don't have to be enemies anymore and they can be friends, and then this threat of getting nuked by North Korea can be totally mitigated and neutralized without having to fire a single bullet. But then the moment I expressed this peaceful solution, non-violent solution, the dirty elite, they decided to have Pakistan and Iran go to war. So they tried to escalate violence between both of them and tried to get them engaged into a battle. But Thank God that did not happen. Their plans did not go through. And both Iran and Pakistan came to terms and had a truce, and now they're good friends as always. Um, and then what happens is they didn't want Pakistan to help US and stop North Korea using help from China. So the next thing they do is they try to fuel a state of civil war in Pakistan by making the elections controversial, by profiling the elections as controversial, so that Pakistan is so distracted with the elections and with the post-election quagmire and the chaos and the destabilization that Pakistan cannot do anything to help with peace and to help mediate a truce between US and North Korea using China. That's a very good friend of Pakistan. And now after I said all of this, what happens that Tucker Carlson, he goes to Russia to interview Putin, and the entire Democratic Party goes totally bonkers over this thing. That why is Tucker Carlson in Moscow? Why is he interviewing Putin when we are at war with Russia in Ukraine? Even though he's a journalist, he has a right to interview anybody. He can interview a beggar in Moscow. He can interview an industrialist in Moscow. He can interview the president of Moscow, of Russia. It's his choice. He's a journalist. He can interview whoever he wants to. So I don't understand why the Democratic Party got so crazy. But what I'm thinking is Tucker Carlson probably went there because he was asked by the Trump administration to kind of try to mediate a truce of US with North Korea using Russia as a mediator. And so this was my second option, that other than Pakistan, Iran is the second country that can also help US in mediating a truce with North Korea by using Russia as an intermediary. So Pakistan could do a truce using China as an intermediary, and Iran could use Russia as an intermediary and mediate a truce between US and North Korea. So I think Trump apparently most likely sent Tucker Carlson to kind of look into this matter, and the next thing we know is that the delegate from Moscow went to North Korea. And just a few days after that happened, do you know what happens? The Democrats announced that there's a national security threat. And they are saying that the national security threat is from Russia planting nukes in space. And what is next? Now listen to this. This is very interesting. Then they're saying, Anthony Blinken, he says, I have requested China and India to try to stop Russia from planting nukes in space. That's when I felt that they are bluffing, because India has been a space power since 2019. Asking a space power to stop another country from planting nukes, who are you bluffing? Everybody knows that. You're bluffing us. So you're trying to plant another source of nukes that are going to attack US, and that source is going to be now space. So while Trump most likely tried to neutralize the threat coming from North Korea, and we should appreciate him for that he used whatever his resources he could to try to thwart a potential attack on US that could potentially end the world. We are seeing the dirty elite come up with an alternative source, space, to nuke US. and they're gonna frame it now on Russia. So they're preparing you for it. They're like, oh, there's a national security threat. Russia is going to plant nukes. And then in 40 days, when someone somewhere nukes US, they're going to say, oh, Russia did it. And then we told you a month ago that Russia was going to do it from the space, and we tried to stop it. And we even asked India and China to try to stop Russia. Who are you bluffing? Do you think we're also stupid? Do you really think we're also stupid? I mean, what are you trying to do over here? You are refusing every effort for a ceasefire in the Middle East. You just bombed Iranian gas pipeline. Who are you trying to bluff? You're trying to pull in Iran into a major battle so that when someone somewhere nukes US, which is going to happen within 40 days, unfortunately, the way things are looking, because we still have a patient of dementia who is currently in the White House acting as the President of the United States, who is getting dictations from some dirty, rotten scoundrels who have no regard for precious life, who will not allow President Biden to respect the will of the people. 350 Americans, they want an immediate ceasefire in the Middle East. And this dictatorial communist regime that is currently in the White House is refusing to observe the will of the people and is taking dictations from the investors and is going to get United States nuked so that the wealth and power of the American people could be transferred to UK and to Israel as per the Hannibal Directive. This is treason. You have to confront your government and their policies. They are now going to try to nuke US from space. And they're going to blame it on Russia. Trump tried to neutralize North Korea via Russia and may have succeeded too. I don't know. We don't know. Nobody's interviewing Putin about why he went to North Korea after Tucker Carlson met him. Maybe he went there to mediate a truce. Maybe Trump tried to thwart that threat. Nobody's talking about it. It's all lies. It's all propaganda. It's all deception. Who is digging the truth? I don't see a single journalist looking into this existential threat to the people of United States right now. A nuke attack in the next 40 days. How come nobody's looking into it? How come nobody cares about it? This is concerning. They have been preparing the American people for this with all these wasteland zombie movies, with all these apocalyptic movies. This apocalypse is not going to be generated by just like that. This apocalypse is not going to be generated by any enemy, any outside enemy of US. It is going to be generated by some very corrupt, dirty scoundrels who call themselves Americans, and some of them are sitting right now in the US Congress. Bye-bye.